talking to you a little bit about how to get into optometry school and specifically what you need to do in undergrad to prepare you for optometry school and some of the questions you might need to kind of be thinking about to help you get into optometry school. So the first thing I want to talk about is you need to look through all the different schools that you're interested in, look at the prerequisites that each school requires. So there's usually they all overlap pretty much the same, but there are a few different courses or schools that require different courses. So one school might require anatomy and physiology, and some other schools don't. So you don't want to limit which schools you can apply to just because you haven't taken those courses in undergraduate. So go through and look through all the schools that you may be interested, or even look up all of them and just make sure you meet the prerequisites for all of them so you don't limit yourself in where you want to go, just in case you didn't get into your first choice and you had to apply somewhere else. So that's my first tip is make sure you have a thorough understanding of the prereqs for optometry school and make sure you're planning those in your undergraduate career so you meet those and you're not scrunching them all in at the end and get stressed because you're taking the OAT and doing everything else at that point, writing essays. So that's tip number one. Tip number two would be dive deep into your course catalog. Find courses that are going to give you clinical experience in optometry. A lot of times schools will, as part of your degree, will let you choose classes like internships or different clinical study courses that will allow you to get more in-depth experience, clinical experience in the field that you're interested in, to get exposure to that. So I did multiple things like that. Early on in my undergrad career, I did an internship on an off semester where I wasn't going to be in school, so I did an internship and was able to work in an optometry office, and I actually got a paid one, which was great. But it turned out to be a great experience. I gained a lot of knowledge through that. And it actually didn't start out paid. I just went to my family eye doc that I actually moved to a new area in California and just went to go get an eye exam and was told him I was interested in going to optometry. And so he showed me around his office and kind of showed me how some of the machines worked. And within a few minutes, he offered me a position as an intern and then even offered to pay me. So it was a great experience. So just keep your options open, talk to people. Optometrists are very friendly, and just make some connections out there. And so also it's important, what I also did later on in my academic career was I looked in the course catalog and found that there was this master's program that offered rural study of medicine. And even though I wasn't a part of that program, I saw that there was no locks on registration for it. So I registered for one of the courses that was about studying medicine in rural areas, and you just go shadow different doctors. And I got an email from the course coordinator saying, oh, okay, you're not part of this master's program. How did you register for us? I said, well, there was no lock. So I ended up talking with them, and they actually let me take that course. And it turned out to be a great experience. I got to shadow a bunch of different doctors in rural locations, and it was very interesting and very worthwhile. So don't just think outside the box, look for different opportunities that maybe the average Joe doesn't find, and get those clinical experiences while you're an undergrad. And that'll look great on your resumes and applications for optometry school. All right, tip number three, you're probably going to hear this a lot, but try and take as many business classes as you can in undergrad. So to get into optometry school, you don't have to have a certain major, or even sometimes you don't even need a bachelor's degree, but it's probably a good idea to get one. You can choose any major you want. So you could major in business, but the most common thing is just to major in biology because it's so much easier, because those are most of your prereqs for optometry school anyways. But I would encourage you to try and squeeze in some accounting or business classes to help you when you're done, because that will definitely come in handy. All right, my fourth and final tip is really pay attention in your courses. I think we all have the tendency when we're in a class is just learn it for that moment and then dump it after the test. And that's not going to pay off, because as an optometrist one day, you're going to have to remember all that you've studied in school. So practice that now. While you're in your undergraduate courses, don't just study for a test and dump it. Really try and put those things into your long-term memory. And they might pay off in the future when you go to take boards for optometry school and those sort of things. Those questions will come up again, and especially for the OAT. So just really study those things, especially in physics, where you're going to be studying optics a lot in optometry. You'll want to have a firm foundation in those principles. So I would encourage you to not study and dump it, but to retain those things and keep reviewing it often so that you're fresh, and it'll make your academic career so much easier. Well, thanks a lot. Give me any questions that you have, and I'd love to answer them. We'll talk to you soon.